Coming up, we're going to talk about our largest accomplishment to date on this channel. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sacred Rewatch. My name is Ethan Bronson, and this is where we are rewatching every project in the MCU in chronological order, leading up to the big one, Avengers Doomsday. We are literally rewatching everything so you don't have to, including this episode. I'll introduce my partner here in just a moment. I've done the math. We have spent nearly 7 days watching the original Netflix Marvel shows. And when I say 7 days, I don't just mean, taking a few hours out of your day. No, 7 full 24-hour days, 164 hours of content. We've made it to the end. We've made it to the end. Today, we're going to be talking about Jessica Jones Season 3. Please make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you are listening to. But today, I am joined by my OG partner and our resident philosopher, Brody. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and I just want to set the record straight. Wyatt also completed this project. I just don't want to come out of this. He had finished the show on time. Just want to set that bar clear, because it's very impressive to make it through these shows.
Yes, it really is. It really is. I can't believe it, to be honest with you. It just felt like every week that went by, we were still so far from making it to the end, but we've done it.
Well, I kept thinking it was over. And I was like, oh, well, we didn't watch the next Punisher season. Oh, Punisher doesn't sound bad. Okay, we're done with that. And that's a good one, so that must have been the last one. Oh, no, you forgot about Daredevil. You forgot about Jessica Jones. And then I was like...
Don't forget about Iron Fist.
There's interesting stuff about that to be said this episode.
So yes, we just finished Jessica Jones Season 3. This was the end of our Netflix binge. The reason I call it the Netflix binge is because originally these shows released on Netflix as a ABC Studios original. I think that's the correct production that put it on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot to take in. We're going to be talking about Jessica Jones Season 3. We're going to try to save our conversation about the entirety of this series, really, for another episode when we can get Wyatt on. And I know last week as well, we said that we were going to be talking about Thor Ragnarok. We're actually going to be recording a separate episode for that. So make sure to go check out the following episode where we're going to be talking about Thor Ragnarok and really the build up to Infinity War. It's crazy. We made it. We're here.
Man. This is crazy.
And the crazier part is we're at Infinity War, and a lot of people think, oh, you guys are at the end. No, I think we're barely at the halfway point.
That's wild. That's actually the craziest part about this. Because I think until you verbalize that, you don't realize how much the shows have impacted the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In terms of like a rewatch like this. Like when people say like, oh, like you just need to catch up before Doomsday. Like if you haven't watched stuff since Infinity War, like no, it's a lot of stuff. Like I know that since it comes out in waves and Disney Plus is kind of like in a natural flow of things now.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's that much, but it is so much content.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
And I think what's been really interesting for both you and I is a lot of these Netflix shows we haven't seen before. It really kind of goes against our mission of rewatching everything because we haven't watched it for the first place. But
this is our awesome project.
It's been very interesting to see like what really is important to the Infinity Saga. And I say important in quotes because I think every project that we watch plays either a very small role, a very large role in this quest to making sure that we rewatch everything leading up to Doomsday. But also, I think really where it's going to be important is Secret Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is the move. But that's going to come.
I don't think we'll have the answer of what was important until we're sitting in the theater in 2027 watching Avengers Secret Wars.
With walking in with our canes, not the restaurant canes, like actual physical canes, because we will be elderly by that point. Is what I'm trying to imply. By
the time I'm sitting down in the theater. You know, I just said the other day that I got engaged. By that point, I'll be married. Crazy to think about.
That's wild. That is wild.
Crazy to think about. before this, I was just not engaged, not married, and by the end of this, I'm going to be both. The whole process will have happened. Crazy stuff. But
Crazy.
let's talk about Jessica Jones. There's not much of a non-spoiler review that I really want to give. I think we should just get right into it. So, Brody, just rip your score straight up.
Let me write it the old-fashioned way, as we do.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll do the same thing. I'll do the same
found a
thing. We haven't
blank
done a
page
reveal
here.
in a long time. I feel like this warrants it, though.
I went back and checked some old episodes for some scores for comparison. I was like, oh yeah, gotta write it down. The classic.
Yeah.
Even though you can barely see it every time.
Here we go. How can I write on here? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see it, Brody. Let's see the reveal.
We got an 11 there.
Oh, I was gonna say 0.00.
Yep. Yep.
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
5.5.
That's usually how our scores go.
Yeah.
My middle mark is about the 10 to 15 range. Yours is 0 to 10. That's usually how our gauge is on this stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I will say to start our conversation is just generally underwhelmed. I think this season lacks a lot of things, to be honest. I think it lacks story. I think it lacks a villain. And I think for Trish and some other side characters, it just lacks real depth and direction.
Yeah. No, that sums up a lot of these Netflix shows, doesn't it?
But I feel like particularly this one.
Yeah. You know what was bad about this one? Is I was watching it and like it got to the end of it, and another show that we had critiqued, Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely, I wished I was watching Iron Fist. I don't mean that like I wish I was watching this bad show. I meant like this. I actually feel pretty good about Iron Fist season 2 after watching this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said at the time that I did enjoy the season. I think when we were talking about Iron Fist season 2.
Yeah.
But looking at this, I'm like, yeah, I was confident in that. You know what I mean? It kind of reaffirmed what I thought.
Well, and what's super interesting to me is, although Jessica Jones, all 3 seasons have been kind of all over the place, to me, her seasons have progressively gotten worse. I didn't think very highly of season 1 of Jessica Jones, but looking back at it, season 1 looks a hell of a lot better than this.
Yeah.
And I think really where it comes down to is a villain, really. That's where I think I'm most frustrated about.
Yeah.
It takes you almost 10 episodes to figure out, oh, this is the story that they're trying to do. And I'm almost appalled that there was no twist. There was no just real story that they're trying to get to at the end. And then I'm just gonna say it. I'm really upset that Kilgrave is back in some capacity. I mean, what is that about?
The last line in the show is said by the last line in these Netflix shows is said by him.
And although I liked Kilgrave, hold on. I liked the writing of Kilgrave, not as a person.
The acting.
I like the writing of Kilgrave. I like the story of it because I think it teaches the audience a lot of things about women, the women's portrayal of being superhero, and also the challenges that all women face on a daily basis.
Yeah.
The end of season 3 makes it seem like it's never going to end. Why can't the female hero triumph at the end? Why can't she be
That was the lamest part of it, wasn't it? Like, they
Yeah,
made a
that's
big
what I
deal
think.
about her making a decision. We're jumping straight to the finale because, like, really, like, you might as well, because we just watched this. This is fresh off our minds. But yeah,
Yeah.
like, it felt very similar to the Luke Cage thing, where
Mhm.
it's like this whole season you've been telling us, like, this character is this thing, but they're struggling with this. And then you get to the end of this finale and all this stuff, and you go, "Oh, this character has really improved since that other thing." They're not, you mean they're not part of that. They make it seem like they made the choice to move away from that, move past that. You mean,
Mhm.
and it makes them seem like very strong characters. The same thing as Luke
Mhm.
Cage. You know what I mean? I don't want the club, I
Yeah.
don't want the thing, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
since this show, we're just gonna say it, went out of its way and had Luke Cage show up to give him kind of a softer send off than what we got in Luke Cage season 2, I thought, oh, they saw the finale for that show, so they're
Mhm.
not gonna make the same mistakes. And at the end of the show, they do that same thing where they're like, we need something here at the end. And they just twist it. And it's like, you don't need to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have been way better if she had some other reason to stay. If she had some friend, something, if she saw something happen. Literally anything other than the villain from season 1 telling our main character, like, oh, by the way, like, you still gotta listen to what I'm saying in your head.
Yeah. And what I think's most frustrating about this particular character run of Jessica Jones, this may be incorrect, but this is how I feel. The last 2 minutes of this season makes it seem like everything that happened beforehand did not matter.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It was like back to square one. I don't know what they were going for.
Literally, it just feels like season 1's gonna play out again.
Yeah. Luke Cage is back. You know what I mean? Our villain from
Mhm.
season 1 is back, and she's staying where she was. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You're literally back where you were.
Well, and I do wanna say, like, there was consequential and monumental stuff that did happen this season. Trish having powers is a big deal, I think, moving forward.
Yeah.
And I don't want to beat around the bush either, because if you're watching this, you know, none of the defenders have died, right? So you know that there's still a possibility to come back. Jessica Jones, we do have confirmation that we are going to see her again in some capacity. I know it's a shocker to you doing the month of
No.
Marvel. Um, so from that perspective, yes, I'm still very excited to see Jessica Jones. For some odd reason, like Iron Fist, he had 2 seasons. I don't feel very passionate about uh our version of Iron Fist coming back. Like, I don't feel very passionate about it. Although Jessica Jones kind of went down the same path where I felt less and less passionate about her show personally, but at her as a character, I still feel the same way. I love her as a character. I'm really excited to see what she does in the future.
Yeah.
Um, some other like consequential things that I was kind of surprised with, and I think had the biggest emotional impact on me. Did not like Trisha's mom, but her dying was kind of crazy.
Yeah. But then
I didn't
again,
think they would do it in that fashion.
she was being mean about the apartment for like 30 minutes. You remember that scene?
Yeah.
She's
Hmm.
like, "Oh my gosh, this thing is terrible." And then she walks like off screen. She's like, "This bathroom is terrible." And then she like walks back to the kitchen. She's like, "These curtains are terrible." And I was like,
But she can clean like
"What were you
nobody else's
watching?"
business.
Right? Hey, if she wants to start helping around the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. It was pretty brutal, but at the same time, did it didn't matter to me.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, even when you put stakes like that in a show like this, it just feels like, I don't know, out of the blue. Like, not out of the blue, but like, it could have happened, it could have not happened.
Hmm.
Like, it just doesn't feel consequential, like you're saying. I don't know. It's a weird. I have some notes for the season, but like I said, it's not much. It's mainly just lines and things that I thought sounded funny.
I would agree. I think one of the lines, and this isn't really funny per se, had me the most excited that it was really the first time that they had brought up the larger MCU.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you caught this. Did you
At the
hear
end,
mention of the raft?
that's where she was going at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, when
So
she was getting interrogated, it was like a brick room, and I was like, "This doesn't look like the raft."
I don't think they had taken her there
Was
yet.
that
We gotta
before?
go. I think so. I think they got to go through the due process,
Alright.
before. Would have been really good. And
Ross?
clearly they knew that, their Netflix run, Marvel Television was coming to an end. Pay the $100,000, $200,000, bring in William Hurt, just bring him
I would
in.
love to see
It
it.
would have been a great tie-in. Would have been a great tie-in.
'Cause it just feels like the perfect time to show that kind of character and, like, what he
Yeah.
deals with. 'Cause it'd be the same feeling as when Coulson shows up. When Coulson shows
Mhm.
up, you're like, "This is where he's supposed to be. This makes sense for him, and he can be this character that, like, serves that." You know what I mean? And doesn't need to be a main character, but it's just cool to see him around. And I think that
Yeah.
would've been the perfect chance to, like, just include him. Or just
Mhm.
mention his name or something. Say that that's where she's going to meet or whatever.
Because the mentioning of the raft is like almost too minuscule. If you don't pay attention for that half second, you wouldn't know. You would never know.
And it's weird because while she is strong, there's a lot of villains in these shows. You know what I mean? Which I know a
Mhm.
lot of them end up getting killed off because that's just the way it is. But a lot of them, it's like, I feel like that person was probably more powerful and probably should have gone to
Mhm.
the raft. You know what I mean? Compared to her. And if they're just sending
Well,
people on her level out there, how many people in the MCU world are on the raft? Because I thought the raft was like just like Avengers level threats. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Before
and
this.
I think it is. I mean, it's not very big. It's just kind of secluded.
Yeah,
Clearly, Kingpin should have gone there if it wasn't for all the corruption and all the paying off he did. I think
true.
that's definitely justified that he deserved to be there.
But then again, I don't even know if they would. Because while he is a huge threat, like he doesn't have superpowers. Like that place is made to contain serious stuff. They
But
had Thor in there.
they, I don't think Thor's been in the raft.
Is he not? Or no, because Thor was
No.
completely out of that. What scene am
Yeah.
I thinking of?
Uh.
Is it way later down the line?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm totally
no.
thinking of Thor
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
in the prison. He's got a hoodie on,
So
and he's right. What is that from? 1 second, I gotta research this because this will bother
no,
me.
you're good. But like Clint Barton has been in the raft. Sam Wilson's been in the raft. Uh, Scott Lang's been in the raft. Oh, 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 oh. Oh no. I was going to give a spoiler for another character that we won't see for a while. He's also in the raft.
I get. Wait, hold on. Right when I was gonna say I imagine things, it is here. It is way later. I'm
he goes
mixing.
to the raft though.
No, but I don't think so. I think I'm mixing two different scenes with two different characters,
Oh, okay.
like completely. I think I'm
Yeah.
mixing when Hawkeye was in there. I think,
Mm,
and he says a line or a quip or something,
yeah.
and I'm mixing that with this shot of Thor sitting down.
So then really when you think about
This
it,
is why we're rewatching.
but then like just those characters I named and not a true Avengers level threat, there there's not that superpower to be held in the raft.
Yeah,
Clint Barton's got no superpower.
yeah. Who else was in there?
Sam Wilson's got
Ant-Man.
no superpower. Scott Lang's got no superpower.
True, it's all tech
Innately.
stuff.
Yeah.
I guess it is true. Well, there goes my opinions for this episode. Just take everything that I was reasoning with and just throw it out the window.
Well, what notes do you have written down about Jessica Jones season 3? I'd love to hear.
Overall, My first note was, like most Netflix shows, I said, "This feels like I came back to a hotel and I'm half asleep and someone else turned on the TV and I'm just catching
Mhm.
bits and parts of like NCIS, Hawaii Five-0, you know what I mean? Blue Bloods,
Yeah.
like any of those. That's what the show feels like. Like it just
Mhm.
feels like you're seeing like the in between. Does that make
The
sense?
100%. I
You see
felt like I
people
was
walk to
missing something
places.
the whole time.
The finale, they kept going back to like the same filming location of this room, and it kept messing with my head because I was like, wait, but we were just here and now we're going back to the same room. And I know it's
Yeah.
sets, they're reusing sets. It makes sense. Don't blame them. But it's just like it does feel like you're watching the in between of what you're supposed to be watching.
The already low budget got cut even more.
Yeah, and I did read that the person that was making the show, they had already started writing, and then they changed the
Mhm.
finale once they found out that they got canceled. Just a little bit, just to make it seem like a better send off.
And that's kind of what we've seen from the last couple, series finales.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite lines from any Marvel project ever. So this is a character at a bar that we meet in one of the early scenes, and he goes, "Lady, a burger is home." And then later goes on to say, "I'm just trying to right a wrong. Right woman, wrong burger." Who wrote this? Who wrote this? When they were saying that, like, I'm all down for cornball writing, cheesy stuff.
What does that even mean?
I paused the show and walked out of the room, and then I forgot what was happening. I was gonna skip back and find out, but I just remembered it was bad, so then I just skipped forward. I was like, I'm done with that.
And if you were to skip back and try to jog your memory, you'd probably be more confused.
Dude, it was a crazy line. Like I did go back later. I was like, do I have that written down right? This is what he says?
Yeah.
But hey, I just want to write that down. Um,
Oh, another thing, sorry to interrupt you.
go for it.
Did you notice? I think it was episode 3. It was really the episode that was mainly focused on Trish and Hogarth. Did you
Yes.
notice who directed one of the episodes?
No. Who was it?
Kristen Ritter got to direct one of the episodes.
Really?
Yeah, it was that episode, the one that she was like barely in when she was in the hospital.
That's cool.
Mhm.
Has she directed other stuff?
I don't think so. That was
I'd
the
never heard
first time
about
that
her
I had
directing.
noticed.
That's super
I'm
cool.
gonna look it up though. You can continue. I'll look this up while you're talking.
Oh, I was just gonna say the intro is probably like second favorite Netflix intro now. It was really warming up to me. The piano was
Yeah,
just
I would agree.
on the outros and stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, Even parts of the show I watched in black and white just to make it interesting and keep the show going. And I thought with the
Yeah.
piano music, it was honestly a pretty cool vibe. If they had made it a little more of a detective noir show, a lot of the shots do work pretty well in black and white. I just watched it for a second like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would say probably Daredevil is still a better theme song just because it has
Yeah.
like a unique sound and John Pisano just does amazing like superhero music, like in the Spider-Man games and stuff.
Mhm.
But this piano outro I did go to really like.
No, and the themes are starting to become, as many episodes that we've watched of all the Netflix shows, they've really started to, I dare say, become iconic.
Just where you associated it. But then again,
Yeah.
once you watch 39 episodes with that at the beginning and the end,
Mhm.
it's gonna get I mean, it's gonna get familiar.
So, yeah, the episode that I'm referring to, the one that she directed, was her directorial debut. It was the
Mhm.
only one that she directed. She's directed another show, The Girl in the Woods. She directed 4 episodes of that in 2021, and completely
Huh.
unrelated to Marvel.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
I just like it's just cool seeing stuff like that. Like we see stuff later on where actors become executive producers for their Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to see that progression.
And I feel like whenever I know that information, I always try to, as maybe unfair as it is, try to analyze it more than I normally would, you know? Specifically
Yeah.
what they do with their own personal characters, you know? Are they putting a different spin on it? Do they feel more invested into playing this character, you know?
Yeah, you can just tell there's a lot more weight on it because there's just so much
Mhm.
more involved. Like, there's a lot more stuff falling on them if certain stuff goes wrong.
Mhm.
Um, Other notes, we got the Hellcat comic suit. I thought that was a funny scene
Mhm. Yeah.
where she's just like, "No," and it's like that is how it is. Like, all these
Mhm.
characters and their modern adaptations in these shows would not wear what they were in the comics, and I thought it was just a funny scene or a funny
Certainly
scene.
not Jessica Jones.
Yeah, but I didn't even know that was her comic suit because I don't know this character, like, at all. But once that scene popped up, I was like, "That's gotta be the comic accurate suit. There's no
Yeah.
way you do a scene like that and write that, and that's not."
Mhm.
Looked it up, sure enough, it was. Um, there was a really good line in the show, which I feel like should have been more what the season was like.
Mhm.
Uh, Someone tells I think they tell Jessica that focusing on they say that Jessica's focusing on someone else's stuff, so she doesn't have to think about hers.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's a really good aspect to take on a superhero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't really think about it that way. You know what I mean? Because usually it's just they have to deal with both.
Mhm.
But like if you were to look at like Peter Parker and then put the twist on it, like, oh, he doesn't really want to do the good stuff he's doing. He just doesn't want
Mhm.
to deal with the stuff he's got going on at school or something like that.
His
Like
personal life.
it does twist the character a lot
Mhm.
and shift the perspective. So I thought that was a good line that actually made me think about like that's an interesting take on a superhero.
Well, and what I will say about Jessica Jones this season, especially with her dynamic with Trish,
Mhm.
because Trish is acting the way she is, she's super powered now. She feels like she has this responsibility that she needs to have. And some of it is with ill intent and some of it is with the wrong intentions.
Yeah.
But I do feel like this season more than the previous others, so I will say that there is some character growth here. She feels a lot more like a true superhero, you know,
Yeah. I
trying
would
trying to
agree.
stop Trish in some capacity.
Well, that's what I thought the finale had good aspects of that,
Mhm.
where she waits and sees what Trish is gonna do and then the knife and stuff. And it goes
Yeah.
through her hand and she realizes like, okay, it's going too far. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That's why that ending just you feel like, oh, she's kinda facing herself, which is a classic trope, you know what I mean? But she's
Mhm.
pretty much just facing an extent of herself because that's what Trish is trying to do. She's trying to be like her, go out, you know what I mean, fight these people that are terrible people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just in her eyes, but like there's a lot of people on the show. Like we see like they've done terrible stuff.
Yeah.
Um and really like if you put what Trish is doing next to someone like the Punisher, you know what I mean?
It's really not that bad.
It's a normal Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
that's why I think that's why I was confused part of the season, like, why can't Jessica understand what she's doing? Because they very well could be in the same situation, you know?
That's why I
And
thought like
they really
it was
have been.
almost there that she was like reaching that point where she's like, hey, they can be redeemed. I was like, okay, they're going that aspect. This is their like big finale for this season, for this last season of this
Yeah.
character. You know what I mean? But I don't know. They just twisted at the end. They're like, nope. All
Mhm.
that growth that you think you had with the character, no, it's not gonna happen. And the problem with Trish, the real problem with Trish, is I kept thinking like we just got Walker. We just got Mary Walker. We just got
Mhm.
Mary Walker in Iron Fist season 2.
Mhm.
And I was like, she's everything I want Trish to be right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The character dynamic, how she's struggling with what she's doing. Obviously, she doesn't have the same exact scenario, but everything that I liked about Mary Walker, I was not liking about Trish. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because it was just, it wasn't as interesting. There wasn't I mean, as good of a flashback scene, as good of a, I don't know, it just wasn't there. That's what
Mhm.
I'm saying. Like, it really made me like go like, I don't know, like even though Iron Fist season 2 had a really rough like ending, like way at the end,
Yeah.
I was like, overall, it had direction, it had decent characters, You know what I mean? The side characters, I was way more interested. Then this season, it just kept cutting to side characters in Jessica Jones season 3. And I was like, these are just terrible people. Like in the
Yeah.
finale, it's just like you're cutting to Hogarth, and she's like, I know what I did was wrong, but I'm dying. So
Yeah.
that's why I did it. But it was wrong. And it's like, okay, you're a terrible person. And then we cut to the next scene, and it's that dude with the girl that's moving out of his apartment.
Mm.
And then as she's walking away, he's like, I love you. After you like just mess everything up. And it's like,
Yeah.
these are just terrible people. Like it cuts from
Uh-huh.
like the main story and like the chasing down Trish, what's going on here, what's going on there. And it would just cut away to these scenes of these people talking and just like saying like the worst things to try to trick people into like staying around them. And it was just weird. Like, I don't know. It just kept cutting away on the finale. I was like, I don't know. Wasn't that weird? Like, it wasn't like in like, if you look back at Iron Fist, we had that arc with Danny's brother.
Yeah.
But that was like through the whole season. You know what I mean? Like, he had like
Mhm.
escalations, parts where it's getting rough, parts, you know what I mean? Where he finds out about the pregnancy. Like, there was compelling stuff there, and it was acted really well. It didn't feel too repetitive. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They weren't going to the same. I guess they did go to the bar a few times, but it wasn't always the same characters. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But like, just by comparison, I couldn't help but like this whole show think about Iron Fist season 2. I was like,
Yeah.
by the end of it, I was really invested in Danny's brother, like
Yeah.
genuinely. Like compare that to this show and all these side characters. I'm like, but why? You know what I mean? Like start of the
Yeah.
show for this season, Hogarth is diagnosed. She's struggling. You know what I mean? Again,
Yeah.
like you're saying, reaches out to this person, and then by the end of it, that person leaves back to where they started. All these characters just end up back where they started. There's not even the Iron Fist thing of like, let's cut forward a year and
Yeah.
maybe they're different. There's not a Luke Cage twist of, oh, but they're a bad guy now or they're a good guy now. It's just they're the person they were in episode 1.
Yeah.
And it's terrible to see.
We haven't talked about this character yet, and I'd be curious on how you feel about him because I feel like almost he is the strongest character in in morals almost. I'm talking about Malcolm.
Malcolm.
How do you feel about Malcolm? Because we have seen a not only just a 180-degree flip, but a we're going to bring out the Z axis, just a completely new character from season 1, really.
I just didn't care. Like, you know what I
You
mean?
didn't care.
I didn't. Like, genuinely. Like, I tried to, you know what I mean? Like, because again, even with some of these shows, you get tricked into a sense of like, oh, they have a plan. I can't see it
Mhm.
now. It's the same cycle with all these shows. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So whenever they introduce a character like that, I'm like, okay, maybe this one, they have a plan. It's going to be really important to the finale. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it just felt like more filler. Like I was almost confused. I was like, we already have enough characters and things going on. I was like, why are we throwing in another person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this,
I
I don't know. That's just how it felt to me. How did you feel about him?
Well, I've got some thoughts. I think we should go to our quick ad break real quick, and then we'll kind of wrap up this conversation. So we'll be back in just a moment.
Hey guys, I just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by Effortless Expeditions, a Disney-centered travel agency, here to help you plan your next Disney vacation. Contact them today for a free, no-obligation quote. Wherever the destination, they make the experience truly effortless. This episode of the Sacred Rewatch is also brought to you by Bronson Made, a digital marketing and branding agency that helps businesses grow and stand out. With the idea of our canvas, your story, Bronson Made makes the creative process simple, collaborative, and effective. Find out more at bronsonmade.com or follow them on Instagram at bronsonmade.
And we are back. So to answer your question, Brody, and your question is mostly around how I felt about Malcolm.
Yeah, like him coming back didn't matter what it meant to you.
I think, and maybe the reason I made said statement is I like that he's supposed to be serving a purpose. He actually has a role in this. He's not just this rebounded druggie where he has a professional role as basically an investigator, right?
Yeah.
Another PI
Yes.
who's working for Hogarth, kind of not working for Hogarth, and I think their dynamic is very interesting because she kind of hires him at the beginning, and then after that, she's like, "I shouldn't have done this," and then just deny. You
Yeah,
know?
she was trying to like she was all using the power thing of like she was like, "Oh, they'll let you start up this and that because of you doing this." Like, "Oh,
Mhm.
once you wait till the end of it, this will happen." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say the redeeming thing about his character being included is it did feel like that is why Jessica was thinking about redemption for these people.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, like since he's a redeemed character, him coming back does kind of make her comments in the last episode
Yeah.
like actually mean something because she's like, oh, you know, what I mean, people can be redeemed. You know, what I mean, you don't have to kill them. You know, what I
Yeah.
mean, you have to like do the whole process and all that. So I thought, I think that's why he was there. I just, again, I think a lot of it fell flat for me.
Another character, and these two that I'm gonna bring up, they have very minimal roles, but I'm really just trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel for this episode. We
I might not
finally
even,
met Benowitz. We finally met him.
I'm not even placing who that is
The
by
lawyer that
name.
ended up being he's Benowitz and
Oh,
Chow.
he's at the bar
The
at the end.
No, it's
Not
more
that
than just
guy?
the end. He's in it halfway through. He's the
But
lawyer
is he
that
the guy
owns
that's at
Benowitz
the
and
bar?
Chow that is gay. And he's like, "Oh, my wife didn't like that I came out," which I thought was kind of funny.
I genuinely can't even place the name of that character right now. Like, I remember who you're talking about,
He was the
but it's
guy.
like,
I'll run you through my exact memory of him. He was the owner of the law firm who comes
okay,
out as gay, and I think the longest scene that we see him in is with his, I want to say boyfriend. I don't think he was married to his partner, but they were
gotcha.
going through the adoption like call.
Yeah,
That's really what I remember him from. I thought it was cool that they finally decided to bring him out. You know, I think it would have
yeah.
been more interesting to see more of that hierarchical. Nope, that's not the right
I don't
word.
know. That's tough. Though. I was gonna help you out there, but even I don't know.
Dynamic relationship
There you
between,
go.
owners of the law firm with Hogarth, with Jessica Jones, with Malcolm. Like there was a really cool story to show how the owners of the law firm could interact with, different chains of what makes their business successful. And I think they
Yeah,
just did it really sloppy. It was just didn't turn out the way that I think they wanted it to.
yeah. It kind of felt like the again. I don't know if season 2 is still fresh on my mind, but the gang stuff in that. Like, you remember how they were making like a big deal about the gang stuff in Iron Fist season 2, and then they kind of just ended
Yeah.
up being like side plot, and you're like, well, that's actually like an interesting dynamic when you get into these like families fighting. That's how the law
Hmm.
firm stuff felt. It's like it's actually a pretty interesting dynamic, and you would
Hmm.
have more stuff to cut to that would be interesting if you actually made like tension in those scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I was right. Hierarchical is the nature of a hierarchy. So I was right. That is a word.
I'd write it down, but I still wouldn't be able to say it. I couldn't. There's no way.
Another character, and we've already touched on it briefly. What are your thoughts on bringing Luke Cage back at the end?
So I don't think it fixed what they did with the character and that
Hmm.
twist that they did. What it really was for me was, oh, this actor would have done good with that direction.
Yeah.
the actor would have brought the performance needed for that type of character he's turning into. I still don't like how they did the twist at the end.
Yeah.
I think it was just shoehorned in. We're getting canceled. Let's twist it. Let's do something different.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, and I thought the scene was good. I thought he really said what Jessica needed to hear when he's like, "Oh, if I get to that point, I hope someone fights me." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I thought, because he is one of the characters that would need to understand that. You know what I mean? And she asks, "Are you getting to that point?" And he says, "Some would say it's inevitable." And I was like, "Where's this writing coming from?" You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden, it was like, hold on, we're actually dealing with an interesting direction. I don't like how they got there. They kind of jumped over a whole season that should have been him turning into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because again, I think they did a whole season of him turning good, and then at the end, we're like, he's bad. I don't think that made sense. But if they had changed that season, made it so he's turning into this character, he's actually really interesting. Because he is giving good advice. He is still being a friend to Jessica. You know what I mean? But he is also dangerous. You know what I mean? I thought it was really nice to see him as a character and him return. I thought, because didn't we say we thought he was going to return in this show? We said if he's going to return in anything, it's going to be in this show.
Yeah.
Because like we've said, Defender shows are not all cross-bound usually.
Yeah. It's typically just a reference, you know.
It's typically Daredevil's tied into Punisher.
I think, yeah,
and then the other ones are kind of just here and there. But Luke Cage is much closer to Jessica Jones than Iron Fist has pretty much. Well, I guess Hogarth.
I think in the Punisher, we did get one reference to Jessica Jones, her being a alcoholic PI. That was the only reference we got.
True, we did get that throwaway line. But Anne Hogarth is kind of in all this stuff, but
yeah, she's been a consistent thread. I mean, we've got no more Claire. We haven't seen Claire in a long time, and clearly she is never coming back.
Clearly.
Maybe that's what we should call the title of this episode. Clearly.
But she's not even in it.
It's a somewhat interesting title.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. Oh, there was. I was watching the finale, and there's a line delivery and a scene that was just hilarious to me. It's not supposed to be in any way, but it was. You know when she's fighting what's his name, the husband or whatever? And she's fighting him, saying "Oh, what else have you done that's bad?" You know what I mean? And Trish is kicking him. And then the daughter sees it happening. And he's "Don't fight her." And then she's like, I wouldn't. And then the same shot, she turns around and she's shaking back, and then she goes to open the door. I don't know. There's no better way to explain it. But I trust you. I assure you, the actual footage is so funny because you expect it to lead to her saying something, but instead it's just a one shot of her slowly backing up all the way to the door and walking away. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
It was just weird. I know what does she expect to happen? For these people to understand, oh, you're not gonna fight everybody. That's literally what everybody's been telling her the whole season. Is we know you're only attacking these bad people, but it gives you a really bad image, and people are gonna go after you. You know what I mean? And for some reason, it was just, I thought it was a ridiculous scene. But just the footage, it was the same as the burger thing. It was just funny to me.
The burger thing, I don't really remember, but
it's so funny.
I do want to go find that.
Oh, and then the people are knocking on the door, interrupting, right? And he goes, maybe they want a burger. I was like, dude, this guy's good. And also, he gets back to her house, okay, her apartment, and he says, okay, I'm gonna start making burgers. After a few scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on. Look, this is an apartment, but this doesn't happen in my house. You don't just have stuff to make burgers on hand. No. For some reason, you're telling me that Jessica Jones just has everything this guy needs to make the perfect burger with the exact bun that he was talking about at the bar, it was weird to me.
As
I know it was funny,
simple
but
as
still.
simple as a burger can be. You know, you just want to go meat, bread, and cheese, or typically a hamburger. It's got to be a cheeseburger if there's cheese. So a typical hamburger is just
Yeah.
meat and bread, right? So this you might have that, but if you want your traditional American cheeseburger, it's actually quite a complex recipe.
But he described
You need
it.
a
He
lot
was
of different
He's
ingredients.
like a brioche bun. Like he's like, you need this. Like you said, a burger is home. He was like saying like, oh, a burger's sitting on a lawn chair on the 4th of July. Like he didn't actually say that, but he was saying stuff like that. But I just thought it was
Yeah.
so funny that he goes like, if it was his house, would have made sense. Wouldn't
Mhm.
question it. This guy loves his burgers. But he was like, there's no way that he's like, I'm gonna go make burgers. I just thought it was funny. Again, this is my appeal in the Netflix shows, is pointing out like little things like her, like the mom being mad about the kitchen. That stuff is funny to me. That is what gets me through these shows.
Mhm. Well, I mean, if you want to make this a short, you can. I can go more in depth on what it takes to make a hamburger. You know, you need to. I mean, there's a lot of different methods you cook a hamburger. You can do it on a grill. You can do it on a flat top. You can do it in
Yep.
cast iron. You can go smash burger,
I was just gonna say smash burger.
and that's just the meat itself. Then you want to look at the lettuce. You go butter lettuce. You go iceberg lettuce. You could go shredded lettuce. I don't know what people put shredded lettuce on their burger, but I've seen it.
Yeah.
Not
Happens
typically the way I
sometimes.
eat it, but. And then, there's just so many different
Right?
cheeses.
Onions,
I don't know
you
how we
can
got to
buy
this point that
some.
I'm talking about different hamburger styles. And then you can go red onion, you can go caramelized white onion, you can go
Yeah.
brioche bun, you can go whole wheat,
Dice the onions. You can leave them
potato
away.
bun.
Oh,
And then we haven't even touched on sauces yet.
oh,
There's
man.
there's the burger sauce, there's ketchup, there's mustard, there's
In and Out. Just
Yeah,
directly get
there's
it from In
spread.
and Out.
And that's kind of how it relates to Jessica Jones season 3.
Exactly. No, actually, yeah. Let's bring this back around. So these Netflix shows have us talking about how to make a burger. That is
Yeah.
how much they struggle to put a story together. I feel like the guy at the bar just sitting there,
Mhm.
and I'm going like, good
How do we-
character,
how do we-
bad show.
How do we?
I'm going, good character, bad show. Right?
Yeah.
I'm going, I'm trying to write it wrong. Right character, wrong show. You know what I mean?
I want you to sit and think for a second. I need you to use every ounce
Okay.
of your being
Okay.
to create a philosophy point around this. You've got an American cheeseburger.
Okay.
What ingredients is Jessica Jones missing in an American cheeseburger?
Okay. This is.
I actually think it's a fair analogy. It's simple, and it can be multiple, because I think there are multiple ingredients missing.
I would say this is pretty much just like the bread, like a very tiny piece of what appears to be meat in this burger. You know what I mean? It's almost like, well, I guess that technically makes it a burger. It technically makes it a
Mhm.
TV show.
Yeah.
And then there's like pickles, because like it's just, that's the random funny stuff that I find in the show that
Yeah.
it's not really consequential, but I'm like, oh, there it is.
And hear me out. Overcooked caramelized onions. It takes a long time to caramelize onions.
Yeah.
But then, if you leave it in the pot for too long, it's just not
it's
good.
Burnt. Yeah, someone dragged out the onions.
And I
Except,
think that's very
unlike an
applicable
onion,
to this.
there's no layers.
We've had 3 seasons of this. And what to me is like one of my favorite ingredients, a caramelized onion,
Yeah.
is now the worst ingredient. Like, you took so long to make it. You took the time to set up this character, and we're back to square one. Now we've got no onions. Now we've got no meat. We just got cheese and lettuce.
Oh my goodness. And that doesn't make a good burger. I don't know if you guys know.
No.
It doesn't make a good burger. It really doesn't.
That will be our question of the day when Wyatt comes back on for our next episode. We'll ask him what makes a good cheeseburger. And if there was no meat,
Just no context.
there was no caramelized onions, there was just lettuce and cheese, would he still consider it a burger?
I don't even.
The
There's no
answer
cheese.
will probably be no.
There's no cheese on this one. I
No?
don't know where you're getting those ideas. If you think
I'm
any
saying-
part of this show resembles what is
listen.
known as cheese, unless it's Hogarth swallow.
It's Kraft single serve slice, like plastic cheese.
Oh.
Probably a cheese that I do not care for on a burger.
Except it's someone who just got it for the first time and didn't realize that there's a plastic layer to it. They thought it was just the shine of the cheese.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yes, that's
You're
exactly
like,
right.
Kinda just, yeah.
That's
Oh,
exactly
wait,
right.
there's plastic on there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how this is.
And then here's another great analogy for this burger.
Keep them going.
You got like this dime-sized piece of meat, right?
Yep.
They're like
No hands. No hand motions.
the chef, the main chef is like, you have all day to make this burger, right? You've got all day to make it.
Hey, give them a year.
You turn on the gas part of the stovetop,
Mm-hmm.
and the chef comes over and goes, "Nope, you're done." That's basically it. Your budget was taken away. Your ability to keep writing other seasons or write these characters in other capacities, done. Nope, your burger's done. So now we've got a blue cooked burger, and I say burger because you got that little piece of meat.
Right.
You've got Kraft single serve cheese, shredded lettuce,
Right.
and a gluten-free bun.
And it's been around for too long, so it's starting to get moldy.
Yeah, and
Don't even like
the
seeing
talk
it.
about this burger has been so much. There's so much anticipation, and you're like, this is what we were waiting for. I don't got much else.
Crazy. That was, hey, round of applause. You brought philosophy back to the philosopher with that one.
I did.
That is amazing. You might be the new philosopher. You might have to change it.
Mm-mm.
You
not
might
about-
have to. I've been out of the
Maybe-
game. The burger one
maybe-
I cannot beat. There's no way.
I-
Marvel's like a burger. There's
Well,
no way
I
you can
think-
start a conversation like that.
I
and
think-
I
I
can
think-
carry it.
I think all of them could be kind of broken down to, is this a complete cheeseburger? Because a really good cheeseburger, it's hard to beat, man. It's hard
It's
to
hard to
beat.
beat. And then we even got some projects in here. They're just like, they're old school, they're baseline, what you need to get out of it. But
Mhm.
sometimes it's what you want. Sometimes some of these shows, you just need a basic, how it is.
Mm-hmm. Here's another one. An example of how else this burger analogy could be used. You take Japanese A5 Wagyu beef,
Okay.
put it through a grinder, okay?
Yep.
But, Japanese A5 Wagyu is mostly fat, right? But that's what makes it good. You put it through a grinder, though, you start cooking it, and you're like, this should be the best burger in the world because it's the best meat, but that doesn't mean that the burger's going to be good. And what am I relating this to? Taking the best burger, the best meat, taking the best actors. I'm talking about Eternals, It should be good.
Yeah.
But then at the end, you just realize you've just got a bunch of rendered fat on this burger, and it's just not very good.
This feels like if Eternals was, I don't want to include Daredevil, but if Eternals was like 6 to 8 seasons,
Yeah.
that is, I don't know. Like, I just feel like I totally understand how this would be someone's thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, there's shows like that I do like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's shows like Clone Wars or Gotham where there was blatant issues with the show. But if you
Mhm.
watch them as they came out or when you were younger, it's the norm to you. You know what I mean? And even if it's not, you're able to forgive it because you have like a familiarity with it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, since I have not seen these, I don't have that. I don't have that cushion to help lean on to just be like, well, I do like the character. You know what I mean? Jumping into this
Yeah.
blind, it's kind of just confusing too. Just because these shows were just happening with these actors that are now like really pretty well known.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just weird to go back and be like, this is what they were doing? Like they're a
Mhm.
pretty high regarded actor and the show wasn't better? And the only one that doesn't go for it is Punisher.
Yeah.
Punisher is I don't like it just sounds bad. You know what I mean? It feels
Mhm.
like when you say like you don't like Captain Marvel. Like it's hard to distinguish like you don't like it for different reasons than the people that are really loud about what they dislike about it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely.
So you kind of just have to like clarify. Like, no, I don't like the Punisher just because he's attacking stuff. I think we saw that fall off with season 2 as well,
Yeah.
where it wasn't as good personally. But it's like, no, I just think Punisher season 1 is really strong. Like, take Marvel out of it. That is a good show for season 1.
And this is the last thing that I want to leave off on because I still think I've actually think we've done a great job of kind of avoiding comparisons to all the shows because we can kind of remove ourselves in the next episode of not just talking about Jessica Jones season 3, but really comparing them all. I was really excited for these Defenders shows, and I'm sure you could say the same. I don't know what your
Yeah.
expectations
I
were
was
going
excited for
into it.
certain parts of it.
I think some of this stuff missed more than I thought, and I didn't have super high expectations going into it. I knew Daredevil was going to be good. I didn't. I think. I think what I've realized is none of these shows are really that good, and I don't want you or and I'm talking about Daredevil as well.
No, I
I don't
know,
think what
but it's just
keeps me
it's
coming back
yeah.
is the characters.
Yeah.
If you tell me there's going to be a Jessica Jones season 4, or the same way that they did with Daredevil season 4, where it's really a a new version of it, but still kind of the same timeline. Like I'll
Yeah.
still be excited. I still want to go watch it.
I agree.
Iron Fist is really
a lot
the
of stuff
only
like that.
show. If you told me, hey, we're going to do a Disney Plus version of Iron Fist, like I don't need to see Danny Rand Iron Fist, because
I would though.
I didn't connect with the character. Luke Cage, I I love Luke Cage, but other than like 3 or 4 episodes in season 1, I did not care about the show.
Yeah,
You're
about all
showing
the
me other
side
characters where
characters, all the
I'm not
stuff.
looking at Luke Cage. I want to get to know Luke Cage more.
Yeah.
Why is he the most morally correct character in my opinion than all the
Yeah.
Defenders?
Well, that is the big problem is a lot of these shows, the side characters, usually a lot of them are bad, but one of them will steal the show.
Mhm.
There'll be a Mary Walker, there'll be a Trish where it's like, well, most of the seasons just I know you're supposed to introduce like an interesting character each season and stuff. At least one. Yeah, I mean, you would hope. But it just feels like you're saying, like you don't get to spend the quality time or even at that, I think the biggest flaw is they're cutting between those other characters and what they're going through and our
Mhm.
heroes. So you don't even get the chance to see the villain or that character through our
Yeah.
hero's eyes. I think
Mhm.
that's really the aspect that's missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it would really help if you were just seeing it from their perspective, or mostly even, and you're
Yeah.
actually like, okay, that's what they think about that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Just because like I feel like you don't get that. You're just cutting between two different characters that sometimes meet. You know what I mean? We talked
Mhm.
about that again. We don't want to talk about all the shows. We talked about that with Luke Cage season 2. They
Yeah.
weren't coherent. What was going on here didn't matter with what was going on here, and it was in the same episode. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
yeah,
so
no,
the
I was
last
just
thing
gonna
I
say,
want to ask you. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I do agree that if these characters were to show up, it's pretty much a clean slate. It's a clean slate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's somewhere it's like pretty much all you gotta do is just don't go over the backstory too much. Reintroduce them, reintroduce what they're like, but
And
we already know their backstory.
don't retcon certain parts of their story. You know,
I agree.
I
There's no need
cannot
to do that.
stand
You
when
can
there's
just ignore it
retconning.
if you can just ignore it if you don't like it. That's usually what goes best. You can just ignore it. But
I try to find
well, no,
other
I'm saying like
headcanon
the
reasons.
writers. I'm saying the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
writers usually
Yeah,
moving
just don't
forward,
go
if
into it.
yeah, if it's something that's really that bad, you can't just ignore it because these are 13 episode shows where like you can skip that stuff.
Yeah.
But I do agree if these characters were to come back, they're pretty much a clean slate, especially ones like this where it's an archetype.
Yeah.
She's a private investigator. You know what I mean? Daredevil's always gonna be a lawyer. Luke Cage, he's kind of just Luke Cage. but like that's fine for
Mhm.
him. You know what I mean? Once you get to know his character type, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then obviously Iron Fist is a martial arts fighting guy. So they all have archetypes. So I think if they were to show up in something, say if they were going to, you know what I mean? If we were just going to assume that they were going to return in something,
Yeah.
I am interested in that. Because a lot of these characters just can be written better by other people.
I agreed. Agreed. Because at the end of the day, they didn't create these characters. They're deriving them from the
That's the other
comics.
thing. And I think something we see with Marvel is a lot of different iterations. You can take one picture of Thor from here and one picture from Thor from here, and it will not seem like the same character
Yeah.
because of how many directors and writers are able to kind of influence their vision, the actor, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I like different phases for the characters.
Yeah. Last question I'll ask you, and I'll kind of ask you to do it in a short version because I'm gonna have to go take a break before we start the Thor Ragnarok recording. Take Jessica Jones out of it because we know that she's coming back.
What?
Are there any other characters that you think are going to come back? Not that you want to come back from this season.
Does Luke Cage count?
Yeah, I'll count it. I'll count it.
He's the only one. There would be no benefit to bringing anyone else.
I
No
think
one
Trish
else.
could come back.
She could. Yeah. My interest wouldn't be there. But they definitely could
Yeah.
bring her back and be like, oh, Jessica's taking
Mhm.
care of her. You know what I mean? She's out of the what happened with
Yeah.
the raft. You know what I mean? Something like that. They could do that. That is true.
Mhm.
But I think realistically, like if we're talking like a actual character that's gonna be involved with any season or anything like that, it would have
Mhm.
to be a name like Luke Cage, where you know what I mean 20% of the viewers or 15% of the viewers know who we're talking about.
Mhm.
But then again, if it's in a Defenders project, it's probably like more than 50% will know who Luke Cage is just by
Yeah.
association.
No, I think that's valid. I mean, it's gonna be a while before we see Jessica Jones, but it's over. It's over. You take a big sigh of relief.
Right? Get a burger.
I will. I will get a burger today.
Right?
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Sacred Rewatch. We hope you enjoyed diving all over the timeline with us. Catch us next week where we are watching Thor Ragnarok. Really, the last few projects before we get to Infinity War and Endgame. New recap episodes are coming out every week leading up to Avengers Doomsday, wherever you are in the multiverse. Thanks for making the Sacred Rewatch part of your journey for all time, always. See you guys.